Hello and welcome to another one of our videos. Today we're looking at our BMW 435 Xdrive. This is the M Sport with the 8-speed ZF gearbox with paddle shift. This car's covered 42,000 miles with full dealer service history. It's a one-owner car from new, so no previous keepers at all. The whole car has been detailed and machine polished. Now, just looking at the video screen or the phone screen, I can tell that the colour of the car, which is Snapper Rocks blue, is not really giving the right colour on the camera. It does that sometimes with cameras. So my suggestion is, if you go onto Google BMW Snapper Rocks blue, and then you'll see some pictures that have been taken where they're probably professional pictures where they've captured the right colour. Unfortunately, you can't adjust it on the device that I'm using at the moment. Anyway, back to the car. So the whole car, like I say, has been detailed and machine polished using both a rotary machine polisher and then an orbiting polisher, which sort of oscillates around and moves around as it's spinning. And what that will do is take out the finer scratches that sometimes cause what they call holograms. So when you see the car in the sunlight, you see like these sort of swirly impressions, or holograms, hence the word hologram. And so it gives it a nice crystal clear finish. So as I was saying, this is Snapper Rocks blue. It's got some really nice extras on this car. There are very little in the way of stone chips. In fact, the bonnet is in really nice condition. There's nothing on the bonnet. Come around and show. And if we come down onto the bumper, front bumper, there are a couple of very, very minute little stone chips from here. They're just right down. It's a really common area to get a couple of little chips down here, but it's not all peppered. It's just some honest little bits which you'd expect on a second-hand car. I'm just trying to, if I get this back in focus. As you can see, not much at all. And if we come down here, there you go, you see one bang in the middle of the screen now. But really lovely condition. We've got some nice black gloss grills that we fitted to the car to match with the other black gloss around the side of the car. Now, the headlights on this are the BMW Adaptive LED Icon Lights. Now, the Icon Lights have got a different lens, and they're a lot more expensive than the adaptive halogen light. These are a £1,200 option, these lights. They're very clever. They follow the steering angle of the car, so when you turn left or right, the headlights will light up the road wherever you're pointing. You've then got high beam assist, which uses the camera up in the top of the windscreen or just behind the rear view mirror, and they'll automatically dip the headlights on the car when it captures the light of an oncoming car. So a really nice feature. So down to the wheels, we've got the 704M alloys in a very dark orbit grey colour and diamond cut with the M Sport brakes. So the M Sport brakes, they're a slightly bigger caliper with bigger pads, bigger discs, and give you much stronger braking. In fact, people that remap some of the M140s to like up to 500 brake horsepower have kept the M Sport brakes because they really are that good, and they don't have any problems with the car slowing down. Just looking at the rear wheel there, all nice there as well. Just noticed that the wing mirrors have folded in, so I've obviously pressed the button on the key fob. Okay, let's come up onto the roof actually. In fact, while that mirror's around like that, you can get a good opportunity to go around it. If we look at the paintwork up on the roof, there's no bird dropping stains or tree sap marks. Bird droppings play havoc with the paintwork in this strong sun that we've had lately. It can crack the paint, stain the paint. So if you get any bird droppings on your car, wet cloth, put it on top of the droppings, and then leave it there for like 15 minutes to soften. Don't just try and scrub it off, because you'll end up scratching the paintwork on the car. Okay, we've got rear camera at the back here as well. All the exhaust pipes and the back bumper, all in really nice condition. Just come round to the other side of the car now. We'll take a look around the filler cap. Another area to check for damage. There's no scratches. All nice and clean in there. Come down to the rear wheel. Incidentally, the tyres are Bridgestone run flats, so it's running on the tyres that this car would have come from the factory new. If you do opt to go for a different tyre, the Michelin Pilot 4Ss are a fantastic tyre. There's lots of reviews online. They'll be a good option for when they need changing. And also remember that the Xdrives prefer to have, or need to have, tyres that aren't too far, basically the tread depths aren't too far away from each other. So you don't want like brand new tyres on the front with, 3.5, 4 mil on the back. You want to keep them within 2 or 3 mil of each other, really. So we're just going to go around the car one more time. We'll take a look inside. So we have black Dakota leather with the blue stitching, which is an option. So all of the stitching on the seats is finished in this blue, which is quite nice, a nice contrasting difference. We've got the HARMAN KARDON sound system. So that features 16 speakers. Some on the door card, some are underneath the seats. And then you've got additional speaker up in front of the display window for the iDrive. See, all the door seals are really nice. No seat belts have been sort of jammed in the door and damaged the paintwork. And they might not be on at the moment, but there we go. Puddle lights underneath the door and underneath the door handles. You can move the seat back and forward for the people in the back electrically. We've got wireless charging and sliding armrest here as well. So it's all part of the innovation pack. The brushed aluminium trim with the black gloss finisher. Take a look in the back. I've already had a good look round in here and there's no damage on the leather. And there's no damage on the back of the center console here where the vents are. I can't reach inside properly because there's no back doors, obviously. But all nice in there. And the backs of the seats. And then we've got the professional navigation, heated seats. We'll come around the other side in just a second. We've got the M Sport Plus pack on this car, which essentially is the sun protection glass, the wheels, the M Sport brakes. We've got rear camera on this car. So in the boot, if we take a look down at the top of the back bumper, no nasty scratches. What isn't showing up on the camera is sometimes you get some very, very small impressions. I can't actually see any, but it actually looks all good on there actually. Locking wheel nuts all under there. The seats do drop down on the coupe. 2 little handles at the top. And then you've got the battery underneath there. Got the netting. We come up to the top. All the carpets, the triangle, etc. and all clean. All the rubbers along the top here and down the side. The rear lights, all in good condition. So I'll just come round and look at the driver's side. No scratches around the door handle there, you'll notice. And if I can get these to work, there we go. Got the little lights underneath there. Okay, I need to start the car for that to operate again. What happens with these cars is when I'm filming, after so many minutes, there's certain items that time out. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to start the car, and then it won't keep happening to me. So driver door card. No damage on the driver door card. No damage on the edge. All nice and clean under there. Door shut. All the rubbers are okay. If you want to be fussy, there's a couple of little scuff marks on the plate. I mean, it is the driver's side and it is plastic. It's going to get a few scuffs. We've got electric memory seat, and the bolsters are inflated with the little black buttons. So this bolster here and on this side would inflate to grip you in the seat better. Now, because we have the innovation pack, we have these two buttons down here. One is collision control, the one that's highlighted, and the other one is lane assist. So the steering wheel will vibrate when you cross the white line. Just going to jump in the car. Okay. So the first thing you'll notice about the dash, see the mileage down there, is this has got the digital cockpit, and you can see the speed limit display in the left hand clock, which is showing you the speed. We're off road at the moment, so it's not displaying a road speed. Now, when we have adaptive M Sport suspension on the car, as I mentioned, which is operated from the button down here, the drive modes. And essentially, when you change the drive modes, we're going into Eco Pro. If you go into Sport, Comfort, the adaptive suspension has electronic sensors and valves, and it will allow some of the fluid pass to make the shock absorber softer. And with the digital cockpit, when you go into Eco, it changes the display on the cockpit as well. So you can see how well you're doing economy wise, etc. If you go back into Comfort, it's the standard window, and if you go into Sport or Sport Plus, you'll see, if I put it into gear, use one of the paddles for example, you've got your gears on the right and then the speed on the left. Let's put it back in park so I don't crash. And then if you go into Sport Plus, that turns off part of the traction control. So we'll go back just into Comfort for now. In fact, if we show you up on the display here. Now, when you use this dynamic button, it will always show you this feature up here. This is your rev the engine, etc. Let's get back in there. Now, it will show you this window, configuring the Sport. Now, if you look at the car picture and you change to drive chain, look at the suspension, how it unhighlights it and then highlights it and changes. Now, they all have that, but the truth is it won't change the suspension unless it has the adaptive M Sport suspension. So don't be fooled by that. Unfortunately, some of the adverts, I think it's just where people aren't familiar with how this works, advertise them with the adaptive M Sport suspension, and they don't have it. I do two spec checks, one being here where it lists the adaptive M Sport suspension, if I can get that in focus. Where is it? There you go, right bang in the middle of the screen. And there's the reg number of the car, etc. And then I do a further one which gives me a more detailed rundown of the car with a few extra bits on it, so I know that the spec is right. Okay, now the other thing we have is let's is the touchscreen navigation, which is really nice. I don't actually use the touchscreen side of it to do anything other than just change the order of what I want. You know, if I want to use it, I tend to use the iDrive wheel. You've got all your media in here, your DAB. Music collection is the hard drive within the car. And then you've got your HARMAN KARDON surround sound with the equalizer there and a few options. We come out of there. Oh, sorry. I wanted to go into my vehicle. So go into my vehicle. You can see on the right hand side. In fact, let's go in there actually, because I think this car has the interior. No, they're always on sport because everything is always sporty, isn't it? But if I just turn the lighting up, I don't think this doesn't have the interior lighting pack. So we can come out of there. That's the stereo. We go back. If we go back into here, what we do have in there though, intelligent safety. So this is your front end collision. So you can set this early, medium or late, and you'll see if you look at the two cars to the right, see how they move closer together for late. So if you got it on late, obviously it's going to warn you quite late. So we always leave it on there until you check it out yourself. Speed warning, your driver modes that we mentioned earlier, vehicle tracking, that's the GPS tracking if you want to record data on their app. We come out of here, the next one down, we haven't come to the heads up display. So if we go into displays, this is for the heads up display. You can choose the information you want, you can set the height, etc. So heads up display, excuse fingers, let's try and zoom in, let's try and get focus. Right, so there you go, you can just make out, I'm flicking through the DAB channels. We use the mode button on the steering wheel, that's the FM channels. Then we've got AM, then the music collection if there was anything in there, there's not. But the speedo is the 0 in the middle, and then the little circle, the warning sign on the left is the speed warning sign, to let you know what the speed of the road is. And obviously this will show you your instructions for the navigation as well. So a really nice feature. Let's come out of there, and this is where you can change the height, etc. So we've done that. So if we come out of here, there's so much in these, you could talk about it for ages, but the length of the video is a real problem for uploading, so I'm just going to jump straight into the service items. So service wise, that's the PDI, oil and microfilter, engine oil, microfilter, air cleaner, fuel filter, vehicle check. So that was done in April. Then we've got another service, engine brake fluid, microfilter inspection, and then at 42 it's just had a vehicle inspection. Come out of there. So basically the last service, this one here, was quite a thorough service, and the one before, so we've taken it for an inspection. And if we come out of there, you'll see that the engine oil isn't due till next August, or 11,000 miles. All the brake pads are fine, and we've had them looked at as well because we've done the inspection, and 16,000 miles on the back, and the brake fluid. So lots of longevity left in there still, service wise. Navigation.
Navigation is not active.
So we've got different views, obviously. I'm just going to change this one to perspective. We can save that screen in there, and then basically you can save telephone numbers in here as well. You can save radio stations, but some of the actual screens you can use it to create shortcuts. So I quite often like the two different displays for the map on there, rather than having to fiddle around going in and finding it. You can just press number 8, for example, and look, it just changes. So that's really handy. But a really good navigation system in there. as I said, we've got Apple CarPlay on this car as well. If we go into the media, I've just remembered it's in there. I think it might be under communications. Manage telephones. Yeah, on the left there. So the Apple CarPlay is set up on this car, and Wi-Fi hotspot. That's all part of the innovation pack, along with the driving assistance, the speed information, and the heads-up display. We've got all the books in there as well. Just move this out of the way. If we turn dual climate control, and we've got an extra USB down here. As I said before, sliding armrest and the wireless charger under there. I'm going to jump outside now because the video is getting quite long. I'm going to take a look under the bonnet. But check out the spec in the video. Oh, sorry, in the advert rather. So this is the straight six twin power turbo engine. And it has two turbos, one slightly larger than the first one. So the smaller one will spin up first, and then the second one engages. It gives you a much smoother power delivery. 315 PS, or around about 313 brake horsepower. 630 Newton meters of torque, I think they produce. So really high figures. And in Economy Pro, you can get very close to 50 miles to the gallon. So really economical. All this has been cleaned really carefully using WD-40, a nice safe product to use under the bonnet. There's a lot of electrics, etc. And we hoover down inside the gullies here so as not to cause any mashed up leaves which will block the waterways. You don't want to block them up because it can flood inside the car, or you've got lots of expensive units under there. ABS unit for starter. Just look at the shine up here as well, it's all thoroughly cleaned. Okay, so that's our beautiful 435 Xdrive. Like I say, got some really nice spec on it. I didn't show you the rear view camera in the car, but it is on there. It shows you the obstacle marking and the grid lines for when you turn the steering, which you've probably seen before, but that's all on the car as well. Well, look, thank you for taking the time to watch the video. Please give me a call if you have any questions, and I'll be happy to answer them. Take care. Bye.